the league should be terrified because the Seattle Seahawks have the opportunity to do something crazy. There was a major trade in the AFC today that just potentially opened the door for a top 5 running back in the league to be available. Reports are circulating that the Seahawks are the perfect trade destination, but could they actually do this? Today, we are breaking down all of these rumors and how this blockbuster move could bring another Lombardi to the Pacific Northwest. What is up, 12s everywhere? Greetings from the Pacific Northwest. Kyle Guerrero here, your host of Seahawks Digest, where we bring you everything Seattle Seahawks news related, rumor related, and report related as it is happening in real time. And there have been some major reports all over the NFL today as a major trade has just happened. And now it might have some effects on the Seattle Seahawks. But before we dive into this, we just need to announce that the Seahawks are officially the opening game in the NFL season calendar. We will be playing on a Wednesday this year. Most times the opening game is on a Thursday. Actually, the Rams and Niners are going to be playing on a Thursday this year, which is why they moved our game to Wednesday, which this is great because there have been Rams and 49er fans, our division rivals, just, talking that talk that, they're stealing our home opener game. No, they're not. We were having it on Wednesday. We will raise the banner. We will celebrate. So that's just great. We have our season opener game set in stone. But now, with this major trade that just happened in the AFC, a star running back is available. And yes, we just went out and signed Emmanuel Wilson a few days ago to maybe come in and, compete for that top dog spot until Charbonnet is healthy. But now, with this player potentially available, should the Seahawks pull the trigger and go out and get him? Today, we are breaking down who that player is, what his stats look like, what our depth chart looks like, what a move would look like to go out and get him, and does it even make sense? Before we dive into all of that, we are only 203 subscribers away from breaking 1,000. That is when we were able to monetize this channel. So if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Seattle Seahawks content as it is happening in real time, please hit that subscribe button down below. It is free and it really helps us grow this channel. So let's dive right into this story. Earlier today, the Dolphins have decided to trade their wide receiver Jaylen Waddle and a 2026 4th-round pick to the Denver Broncos. Denver will send this year's first-round pick as well as its late 3rd and 4th-round pick to Miami. And this is just interesting because Miami Dolphins, they just went out and signed Malik Willis, and we thought they were going to go through a rebuild with Jaylen Waddle really being that alpha receiver down in Miami. But with them trading him, could Miami be going for a full-on rebuild, or is it just a retool? We don't know, but because of this move, there is rumblings around the league that it is believed that Devon Achain could be next out of Miami, and if they are offered a first-round pick for him. And to put into perspective for you who Devon Achain is, he is recognized league-wide as a top 5, top 6 back in the league, just behind James Cook on this ranking by Fantasy Pros in that 6th spot. And I think the reason he is 6th and not higher is because he plays for Miami. But let's have a look at some of the stats he has put up over the last couple of years while he's been playing down there. His rookie year, he only played 11 games. And note, he only started 4 games because they had Raheem Mostert at that time. And he had 1,000 yards from scrimmage and 11 touchdowns. He followed that up the next 2 years with 1,500 yards from scrimmage and then 1,830 yards from scrimmage this past season. And each of those years, he had 12 touchdowns total, which is great because he was really the only player on Miami's offense doing anything last year. Jaylen Waddle was not at all what we thought he was going to be. Tyreek Hill went down with that really gruesome knee injury. And Tua was just, I don't even know what Tua was doing, but, Achain carried a lot of that load last season. Diving over here, we are looking at Jahmyr Gibbs' stats over the last 3 seasons, the same as Devon Achain. And his numbers are very similar. This past season, he put up 1,830 yards from scrimmage, which I think is pretty much the same as Devon Achain. And he had 18 touchdowns to Devon Achain's 12. And that Detroit Lions offensive line was just so much better. Their offense was so much better, and he had way more great opportunities. So imagine getting a player like Jahmyr Gibbs or like Devon Achain on that Seahawks roster right now. Let's compare Achain and our Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker, who just left in free agency to the Kansas City Chiefs. A lot of people say Devon Achain is just a craftier, faster K9, but I don't know about that. K9's pretty crafty himself. So K9 has been healthier over the last few years and had way more rushing attempts, but not as much rushing yards. Devon Achain rushes for 5.6 yards per carry to Kenneth Walker's 4.3. Kenneth Walker has more touchdowns on the ground, but Devon Achain makes up for that in the air. Devon Achain is a very, very good receiving back, and that is something that the Seahawks have not really had these last few years. If you look at overall production on the very bottom on their fantasy points numbers, these numbers are absolutely identical, but Devon Achain played 14 less games. Achain has absolute groundbreaking speed. He ran the 40-yard dash in 4.32 seconds, and he hit a top game speed of 21.93 miles per hour 2 seasons ago and 22.2 miles per hour in college. This guy is an insane speedster. Imagine lining him up with a guy like Rashid Shaheed. Rashid Shaheed goes deep, and then you have Achain working in the running back position and running it out wide a little bit. And you have Jaxon working the middle and doing whatever the hell Jaxon wants to do. This would just be absolutely lethal. It's worth noting again that just a few days ago, the Seahawks did sign former Packers running back Emmanuel Wilson to a 1-year, $2.1 million deal. And this is a great under-the-radar signing for the Seahawks, has the opportunity to come in and compete for that top starter running back position at the beginning of the year. Taking a look at the current running back room on the Seahawks, our RB1 is Charbonnet. He's still recovering from that ACL injury. He could be ready to go by week 1, but he will not be himself till at least week 10 or potentially even later than Emmanuel Wilson, who we signed this year. And George Holani in that RB3 position, maybe RB2. Holani is definitely a favorite by Mike Macdonald right now. And I'm seeing reports that he has earned himself a bigger role. And then in depth, we have Cam Akers and another depth piece, Velvis Jones, with Kenny McIntosh on our injury reserve. And I know a lot of people are high on McIntosh. Hopefully he has his speed back like before that ACL injury. So what the Seahawks are missing right now more than anything is that running back game that we had in the playoffs that was just relentless by Kenneth Walker. And if Devon Achain comes in, and most people think Devon Achain is a better player than Kenneth Walker, could Achain do that, what Kenneth Walker did in the playoffs for a full season? I know he had a little bit of injury troubles in that first season, but the last 2 years, he really hasn't. It's worth noting here that Achain is on the last year of his rookie contract. So his cap hit is only $6 million for this season if we were to go out and get a deal done. Kenneth Walker is going to be making $14 million this year, so getting Devon Achain for $8 million cheaper than Kenneth Walker would be crazy. But we also have to talk about, could Achain hold out for that new contract like many NFL players do, especially running backs, because they get injured so frequently and they want to secure the bag for themselves and their family. And with Achain being one of the premier running backs in the league right now, he is going to look to cash in. Reports are saying that he is looking at around $16 to $18 million a year, right below the Derrick Henry and the CMCs, but still above of Kenneth Walker. And Achain will probably get that value somewhere. Now, nobody is talking about is Achain with a guy that the Seahawks were actually looking at the trade deadline last season. I know there were potential reports of us trading Tariq Woolen and maybe K9 or Tariq Woolen and a pick to go out and get Achain because we didn't know how good Kenneth Walker was going to be for us down the stretch. So there has always been interest here from the Seahawks for Devon Achain, but we also know how John Schneider is with his contracts, and he never likes to pay the running backs, and he never likes to give deals before the end of that fourth season of that rookie year. So if the Seahawks were to go out and try to acquire Devon Achain, what would a deal like that look like? Well, first things first, let's look at the draft capital that we have for this year. We have the 32nd pick, the 64th, the 96th, and the 188th. It's worth noting that reports are saying that Miami would entertain a first-round pick. Well, we have the worst first-round pick in that 32nd pick. So, I mean, would that be worth it for us to trade that number 32 pick for Devon Achain? I know there's rumors that we're probably going to get a cornerback position right there or a safety to replace Kobe Bryant or Tariq Woolen. But with us getting Joe back and having Ty Okada, I think we have some wiggle room here with that 32nd and 64th pick if we wanted to move that for a potential star player that could lead us to a second straight Super Bowl. Here's a trade suggestion from FanDuel. Hypothetically, the Seahawks could receive Devon Achain if they sent a 2026 second-round pick, that 64th overall pick, and a 2027 sixth-round pick to the Dolphins. Would you do this deal if you were the Seahawks? Would you do this deal if you were the Dolphins? Who even knows what's going on in South Beach right now? Again, Miami hasn't come out and said they're trading Devon Achain yet. They might still be rocking with him for next year and make him play out that full rookie contract. But you got to feel for Devon Achain. He's going to have to carry the load a lot down in Miami. His wide receiver room is not good. And he has Malik Willis, who he was good in Green Bay, but he wasn't good when he was on Tennessee. So one must wonder what the price would be for Devon Achain and what would let Miami give him up. If you're a Seattle Seahawks fan, would number 32 in the draft get it done for Achain? What do we think, guys? And just to reiterate a little bit about what we said through this video, Football Forever on Instagram came out and says, the Dolphins continue to rebuild with premium draft picks. There's increasing belief that running back Devon Achain could be traded, with the Seahawks being a suitor. Trading for Achain will be expensive, and the Seahawks would need to sign him to a lucrative extension. So exactly what we did not want to do for Kenneth Walker. But will we do it for Devon Achain? It is time for the 12's verdict, where we want to hear from you. And what do you think? Should the Seahawks go out and trade for Devon Achain? Drop a green emoji and a Y if you think yes. Drop that little blue circle emoji and an N if you think no. And let me know why. I try to respond to every single comment down below and debate back and forth with you guys about what the Seahawks really should do. My opinion is this. I know how John Schneider is with running backs. If he didn't want to pay Kenneth Walker, he's not going to want to pay Devon Achain. He's another speedster running back that is injury prone. But in my gut, Devon Achain, he is so electric to watch. And with that groundbreaking speed that he has, Shaheed, Achain, JSN, like, it would just be so incredible to watch, especially with our great tight end room and then our receivers like Cooper Kupp as well. So my heart says yes, let's go out and get Devon Achain, and we will be in for an absolute just an electric year if we can go and get a play with him. But my gut is telling me that the Seahawks won't do it. But I want to hear from you guys down below. Let me know what you think. That's going to do it for this episode of Seahawks Digest. If you enjoyed this content, please hit that subscribe button right beside me. It's right there. And we will see you on the next video. Till then, go Hawks.